Waist up only, please. Yeah.
Will this help?
So, I have to say a couple words about Huston. How can you, if you get to know Huston, not love and admire the guy? And I first met him in 1973 when he was, first time I heard him lecture. And, my kind of guy. I mean, the whole global history and the different cultures and how a philosopher can analyze what's going on in culture and ask the deep questions. And I was immediately mesmerized, and I went out and bought his writings. And he had made, as maybe you know, one of the first movie accounts of the Dalai Lama. And absolutely marvelous movie of the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan Buddhists and the way they chant, and they're able to sing 3 different notes simultaneous. At any rate, Huston has that sort of aesthetic touch that accompanies his philosophical insights. And we had this wonderful debate here at PCTS. Huston was a strong participant PCTS. I probably shouldn't mention names, but the initials were Judith Burling and Huston squared off on how to do history of religions. And Judith's position is you do history. And Huston's position is, no, you do ontology. You know, what do you want to do? Dig 10 holes 6 feet deep? Or 1 hole 60 feet deep, and he was for the 1 hole 60 feet deep, and so he felt it was his job not to be a superficial scholar of the history of religions, but to pose the philosophical questions that would go to the depth of each. Let me just tell you, I just marveled at Huston. By the way, he never liked what we do at CTNS. He was always critical because we have too high an opinion of science. And after his years of wars at MIT, anyway. But the first award, the Patricia Codron Memorial Book Award of the Pacific Coast Theological Society, goes to Huston Smith for his book that we now know as The World Religions, but it was originally titled The Religions of Man. So let me just read to you the citation, and then I'll invite Brandon up to receive it. For decades, Huston Smith has provided inspiration and intellectual leadership within the Pacific Coast Theological Society. His book, The World's Religions, Our Great Wisdom Traditions, first published in 1958 as The Religions of Man, and then revised in 1991 and now available from Harper, has become a classic and more than a classic. In addition to providing an empathetic introduction to each of the world's major religious traditions, Professor Smith offers a philosophical analysis that shows shared insights into the depths of our unseen yet ever-present divine reality. This book has informed, excited, and edified students of religion and theology for multiple generations. In 2015, the Pacific Coast Theological Society is honored to present to Huston Smith the first Patricia Codron Memorial Book Award. And so I'd like Brandon Williamscraig, no hyphen, to come up. Brandon is a good friend of Huston Smith's family. I'm sorry.
Turn it so everybody can see it.
Oh, turn it over so everybody can see it. I have not learned Karen's sign language yet. And I'll hand it to Brandon in a moment, but he's going to make a few remarks and give us a little update on Huston's situation. It would have been lovely to have Huston here, but those of you who saw Huston last time, it's a big struggle for him to get out of the house. So, Brandon, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Remarks so as not to extend my time up here too far. Huston's beloved Kendra asked that I accept this award for him, offer profound gratitude for the long friendships he has known here, and report to this community that he has been in hospice for more than 1 year and very gradually weakens. Right now he has a mild cold and laryngitis. He coughs, but seems to forget that he has recently coughed. Family members come to his bedside for a final visit, only to discover that he will stay a bit longer in our company before departing. Professor Smith brought me into this gathering of lovers of theological wisdom in 2007. In 2009, we co-created and video recorded 2 community conversations about belief, mythology, and psychologies of contemporary culture. At the beginning, I asked about the assertion in his book, Tales of Wonder, that he is not, in fact, a scholar of religions. He jumped in to exclaim, "I'm a communicator!" and promptly shifted what could have been an interview with a superstar into a warm and participatory opportunity for shared inquiry. He brought the larger-than-life figure of Professor Smith into the room as Huston, and illustrated his natural gift for helping us regard ourselves and our ideas of the divine with a healthy dose of modesty. Idolatry slunk away, and the divine mystery alive in gathered people was celebrated. He wielded ideals like a liberal and martial arts master devoted to nonviolence. The idolatry of institutions seemed to gain no ground, as he held forth on behalf of the often wavering spirits made vulnerable by belief and the trust that accompanies faith. I hope we will celebrate him tonight and hereafter, not just because he became so widely known, but because his life work celebrated the way that religion, imagined through the relational lens of mystery, makes us more humane, and the world more likely to be a place of deep listening, empathy, amazement, and learning than a place of war and destruction. Celebrate him because he provided a living example of his principle, even as he sometimes does and sometimes doesn't wake up when I enter the room or remember my name. He remains available to be deeply and warmly known by any person he meets, suggesting that we might all do the same, religiously. I am profoundly grateful to be asked to appear on behalf of, and thereby be associated with, Huston Smith. Ted Peters wrote in an email to me the words, quote, "Old-timers in PCTS know and revere Huston. May someone, someday, say something similar of each of us, perhaps as we are in the process of enjoying our last hours here, before departing for the hereafter." Thank you for your attention.
Amen.